Hello, this is Fanfiction Spot coming with another part 3 of What If Naruto Had a Gaming System or Solo Leveling. Please like and subscribe, and without any delay let's get started.
Chapter 3, The Academy, Take 3. Streets of Konohagakure. Naruto wandered back to his apartment with Iruka-sensei, who kindly volunteered to take the clothing bags. Naruto had also prevailed upon him to keep his graduation outfit at his house, just in case someone broke into his apartment and wrecked it. Iruka had developed a pained look at that but had acceded to Naruto's request, as long as Naruto promised to actually pay attention in class and not paint bomb Mizuki when he entered the classroom, again. Begrudgingly, Naruto had agreed, but he privately started planning to paint bomb Mizuki anywhere but the academy. Iruka-sensei, you know all those weapons back at Higarashi's? Naruto asked. Yeah. Iruka replied, thinking of saving up to buy one. I dunno. Naruto admitted, I can't really see the point buying one if I fail the exam because of that damn Bunshin no Jutsu again. The Chunin-sensei nodded at that. Naruto was excellent at the Henge no Jutsu, Transformation Jutsu, and had some skill with the Kawarimi no Jutsu, Substitution Jutsu, but kept stumbling at the basic Illusory Clone Jutsu. I can see how that might impact your decision. He admitted, I'll mention it to Hokage-sama, alright. He should be able to figure something out, maybe an exemption of some sort. A student who couldn't mold chakra externally last year was granted an exemption, although he was ranked as the dead last because of it. He's one of Tenten's teammates right now. How the hell is that fair? Naruto grumbled, I can use the Henge and Kawarimi but failed. This guy can't even do that. All I can't do is that stupid illusion clone that is so useless it might as well not exist. Naruto. Iruka sighed. He knew that the blonde wasn't being cruel or mean. On the contrary, he had a point. Someone who wasn't even able to use chakra properly for any the Academy 3 had graduated, while Naruto had failed twice because he was unable to perform one of them properly. Another good point Naruto had made was about the Bunshin. It was a very useless technique that was rarely, if ever, used post-graduation because any shinobi, hell, anyone with common sense, could distinguish the illusions from the original, as the illusions had no shadows. The guidelines merely say that graduates have to demonstrate mastery of a Bunshin no Jutsu. It isn't specifically stated that it has to be the Bunshin no Jutsu, just a Bunshin no Jutsu. Iruka considered before nodding. I'll have a word with Hokage-sama, Naruto. The Scarface Chunin promised, I have an idea that might work, but I have to run it past him first. Oh. Okay. Naruto nodded, I was wondering what kind of weapons would suit me better. Not any polearm weapons. Iruka said immediately, nor anything too heavy, like a mace, so spears and the like are out, as are hammers or maces. Notaki fall under long weapons as well. Naruto muttered, ditto for katana, what about a kotaki or a pair of tanto? Iruka looked thoughtful at that. You do seem like the kind to get up close and personal with your enemies, where the tanto blades would do quite a bit of damage, and the kotaki can be used for when you need a bit of extra reach. Yeah, those three sound like a good investment to make. Yosha. Naruto declared, now to start saving up for them. How much do tanto and kotaki cost anyway? Well. Iruka looked thoughtful as they approached Naruto's building. At an average shop, an ordinary pair of tanto is about 10,000 ryo, with an ordinary kotaki being about double that. At Higarashi's the stuff is pretty good for only 500 ryo more. This might take a while. Naruto concluded, well, thanks for your help to for the love of Kami. Again. Naruto and Iruka stopped outside Naruto's apartment window, which was, once again, smashed to pieces, with the stench of rotting dog turds wafting out from within. Great. Naruto grumbled, well, I'd better deal with this. See you tomorrow, Iruka-sensei. The Chunin nodded tightly as he watched his student enter his apartment and close the door quietly. Iruka started towards the Hokage Tower via the rooftops. He had yet another interesting report to give to the military dictator of Konohagakure no Sato, one that he doubted the leader of the village would be happy to receive. With Naruto. Once he had dealt with the dog crap, again, Naruto set about repairing the window, again. At the end of it, he leveled up his glass cutting skill to level 28. Right, that's that. Naruto huffed as he dismissed the window and sat down on his crappy sofa. Now, why the heck did I get such a good break with Higarashi's? Most weapon shops chuck me out as soon as they see me. Thinking about it, he remembered the guide had mentioned something about this kind of thing. Guide, he commanded, making the desired screen appear in midair before him. Now let's see here. Aha. Reputation. The box popped up almost immediately, so Naruto started to read the description. Reputation. Your reputation, as mentioned in the introduction, is how you stand with individual people, groups, organizations, towns, and countries. The higher your reputation with any of the previously mentioned categories, the better. Reputation is divided into 9 levels and each has a bonus or penalty to your interactions with those at that level. At war, whomsoever bears this level is against you without question. Minus 60% to any reputation gains to people in this group, plus 10 to all combat-related actions against them. Hated, the bearer of this level despises you for whatever reason. Minus 45% to any reputation gains with people on this level, minus 30% to teamwork if in the same party. Disliked, people on this level do not like you at all. Minus 30% to all reputation gains with people on this level, minus 15% to teamwork if in the same party. Unfriendly, while not against you, this level means that they don't exactly welcome you with open arms either. 10% to all reputation gains with people on this level, minus 5% to teamwork if in the same party. Neutral, not for you, not against you. Hell, people on this level might not even know you. No buffs or debuffs at this level. Friendly, people on this level like you. You're a friend. Plus 10% to reputation gains, plus 5% to teamwork if in the same party. Well liked, you're a buddy, you're a pal. Plus 20% to reputation gains, plus 10% to teamwork if in the same party. Honored, you are treated with great respect and friendliness. Plus 25% to reputation gains, plus 15% to teamwork if in the same party. Exalted, you've reached the top. Utmost love, respect, and friendliness at this level. Plus 30% to reputation gains, plus 20% to teamwork if in the same party, with an additional plus 10% if the reputation bar is maxed out. The effects of reputation with shops, filed under organizations, is an increase or decrease in discounts, availability of rare weapons and armor and if they'll serve you or not. You can gain reputation with people by completing quests, saying something they agree with or saving their lives, in extreme situations. Reputation can be lost by failing quests, saying something they disagree with or allowing them to become hurt when you could have prevented it. Holy shit! Naruto exclaimed, this explains a bit, but how do I raise reputation? For more information, kindly close the guide and view your actual reputation page. Impatiently, Naruto closed the guide and said aloud, reputation. A window popped up fairly quickly, but was occluded rather swiftly by another. Welcome to your reputation page. On this page, your standing with the rest of the village is displayed. For additional details on that relationship, tap the desired name. Okay, got it? Naruto muttered as he got rid of the intro page. Now let's see here. There were 5 categories: individuals, groups, organizations, towns, and countries. The countries tab was grayed out, as, he presumed, he wasn't known to even Hi no Kuni outside of Konoha yet. Shrugging, he tapped the individuals tab, making another window appear. There was a load of grayed out question marks, which meant he didn't know the people who they represented. Almost uniformly, they were labeled as either hated or disliked, with a smattering of unfriendly and neutral here and there. Moving down the list, it was actually kinda depressing to see how many people hated him. He stopped scrolling when he came to an actual name that made his heart swell with joy. Sarutobi Hiruzen, honored, 8500/9000. GG. Naruto said softly as he tapped the name of his honorary grandfather. Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, is Uzumaki Naruto's sponsor at the Konohagakure Shinobi Academy and is something of a surrogate grandfather to the boy. Naruto's determination to never give up, despite the odds against him, makes Hiruzen just as determined to try and protect him from those who seek to bring him low, frequently clashing with upstanding citizens in order to do so. A warm feeling filled Naruto as he read this. He knew that his Jiji cared for him, but this just proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. The blonde orphan swore without delay not to give up, no matter what happened to him. Closing the pop-up screen, Naruto started scrolling down again. One well-liked only had a question mark for a name, which was confusing. Someone liked him despite Naruto himself not knowing who they were? What was with that? Further down the screen, he finally discovered his classmates, well, 8 of them anyway. Harano Sakura unfriendly, 500/2000. Hyuga Hinata, honored, 3780/9000. Nara Shikamaru, friendly, 1587/2000. Akimichi Koji, friendly, 1487/2000. Yamanaka Ino, neutral, 456/1000. Uchiha Suzuki, unfriendly, 125/2000. Inyazuka Kiba, neutral, 1687/1000. Abarame Shino, neutral, 900/1000. What the hell? Naruto said in surprise. He was expecting Sakura to dislike him, ditto for Ino, Hinata. Oh, the dark-haired weird girl that faints whenever I go near her? How the hell am I honored with her? I've only said maybe 2 words to her in the last 2 years. Pondering that for a moment, Naruto shook his head before returning to the rest of his classmates. Koji, Shikamaru, and Suzuki were no surprise. He had always gotten on well with the first 2 and had a kind of rivalry with the team. Kiba was a bit of a surprise. He had thought they were on better terms than that. Shino wasn't a surprise. Naruto had hardly spoken to him any more than Hinata, who still puzzled him. Shrugging at the mystery of the weird fainting girl, Naruto moved down and spotted 2 more names he knew. Umino Iruka, well liked, 3520/4000. Toji Mizuki, dash, 0/10,000. For some reason, he couldn't see his standing with Mizuki, but judging by the fact that he had concealed a look of intense dislike towards Naruto and the seriously high number of points needed to move to the next level compared to the others he'd seen, it was either exalted or at war, and Naruto wasn't naive enough to hope it was exalted. You have deduced something important. Your WIS goes up by 1. Ignoring the window that popped up to one side, Naruto watched as Mizuki's entry changed from 3 question marks to at war. He knew that this meant he could not let himself be alone with the blue-haired teacher, as there was no telling what he might do. Scrolling down further, he spotted Tenten. Higurashi Tenten, friendly 500/2000. Why the heck is someone I've just met so friendly to me? Naruto wondered as he tapped her name. The adopted daughter of Higurashi Tatsuhiko and Kani, Tenten can sympathize with a fellow orphan well. Being introduced by her old academy sensei doesn't hurt either. Huh, guess that makes sense. Naruto nodded. Closing the individual panel, he tapped on the organization's name and started scanning that one. Sadly, most of the stores, restaurants, and cafes on the list were almost universally aligned to hated. The few exceptions stood out like sore thumbs. Ichiraku Ramen, exalted, 10,000/10,000. Kanahagakura Shinobi Academy, neutral, 241/1000. Higurashi Weapons and Ninja Apparel, well liked, 1567/4000. 3 stores out of about 50. Seriously. Ichiraku's wasn't a surprise, as he'd been visiting the ramen stand ever since he was 4. 5. The academy being neutral was a surprise, but then again, the Chunin sensei had to keep to high standards to be able to teach, and the Hokage kept a very close eye on their activities there, so they didn't exactly have any choice but to be even-handed with him. Higurashi's was a surprise as well. Naruto had never even heard of the shop before today, though he vaguely recalled seeing Tenten sometime last year getting picked up by a man who looked like he juggled boulders in his spare time. Deciding that he had scoped out his reputation enough for one day, Naruto closed the windows and opened his flaws screen. Time to find out what this game said was wrong about him. Eyesore. Pariah. Headstrong. As he already knew what the eyesore flaw was, and had already taken steps to counter it, he decided to start with Pariah. Pariah, passive. For some reason, the people around you shun and ignore you, almost to the point of you being ostracized. Minus 15% to reputation gains with civilian members of Kanahagakure who are aware of why you are a pariah. Minus 5% to reputation gains with members of the Kanahagakure shinobi forces who are aware of why you are. This flaw can be removed over time, partially or as a whole, with enough hard work to change the populace's opinion of you by raising your standing with Kanahagakure no Sato first to well liked, then to exalted. That sucks ass. Naruto deadpanned. Seriously. He quickly checked his reputation with Konoha as a whole and shook his head. Kanahagakure no Sato, disliked, 234/4000. That's going to take forever to do. Naruto bemoaned before a look of determination came over his face, but Uzumaki Naruto never gives up Databia. A window popped up just as he finished that thought. Quest alert. Note, long term. An uphill struggle. In order to get your reputation out of the mud, you have to do things for the people of Konoha. Accept quests, stop pranking people, the works. Only through determined effort can you change the opinions of those around you. Quest completion reward, acceptance by the people of Konoha. Quest failure, death. Accept. Y/N. Great. Another quest that he can't refuse. The fact he will supposedly die if he failed this quest was more than slightly worrisome, but he had no choice in accepting it or not. Tapping the Y button, Naruto quickly shut the window that talked about Pariah and opened Headstrong. Headstrong, passive. You are stubborn, intractable, and hard-headed. Orders are something that happens to other people, and advice is only applicable when you have tried to do the same thing over and over again your own way without success. Plus 10% to STHX. Minus 30% to teamwork. This flaw can be removed over time by being more dutiful in following orders and accepting advice offered by teachers and fellow classmates. Oi! Naruto grumbled, no one's ever offered me advice, except Chiji and Iruka-sensei, and there are good reasons why I can't do what they say. Such as going to the library to study, eating something other than ramen, wearing something that isn't orange, stuff like that. The first is impossible because he's banned from the library for no reason, the second is because no one else will serve him other than the Ichirakus, and the last is because these jumpsuits were all he could buy from anywhere. Granted, he was stubborn. Naruto was well aware that he could act like an ornery old mule when he dug his heels in, but there were advantages to being stubborn. Even this flaw admitted that. So, maybe I should be stubborn, without being intractable. Naruto pondered aloud, maybe. Closing the two windows, Naruto brought up his status window and looked over his actual stats first. Name, Uzumaki Naruto. Class, the gamer. Level, 5. Next level, 43.87%. Title, Academy Student, plus 25% EXP to LV10. Age, 12. HP, 700/700. CP, 700/700. STR, 13, -5. STA, 25, -5, plus 10. Dex, 13, -5. Int, 15, plus 5. WIS, 10. Luck. Okay, so my STR, Dex, and Int are about average, my WIS is still below average, my luck is Kami-sama knows what, and my STA is pretty damn high. Naruto summed his stats up fairly quickly. Now, why the heck are there minuses next to all my physical stats? He tapped the -5 next to his STR stat and was shocked slightly when a loud chime sounded, followed swiftly by another window popping up. Flaw discovered. Malnourished. Malnourished, passive. Your diet is poor, limited, and unhealthy. You are not growing properly and may never reach your full height. 5 from all physical stats. This flaw can be remedied by eating a varied diet of different foods, rather than a ramen-exclusive diet. The hell? Naruto was beside himself at this. Yes, he ate a lot of ramen, but for it to get to the point that it was affecting his health. The blonde boy sighed. Not much I can do about it, I'll have to have a think about what I can do. Closing the status window, he then went back to the guide and opened the perks window. Perks. Perks are the opposite of flaws. They are unique, or semi-unique in some cases, traits and quirks of yours that are separate from your special statuses. While most perks are overwhelmingly positive, they do occasionally come with some demerits. These can be mitigated to some extent, but don't get your hopes up of that actually happening, as it is a lot of work to do so. You can gain or lose perks as you go through life, and occasionally, weapons or armor will grant you a perk for as long as you have it equipped, although these are exceptionally rare items. For more information on your perks, please visit your perks page. Okay, something positive for a change. Naruto praised. He closed the guide and opened the perks page. Benton's Blessing. Outside the box. Benton? One of the 7 lucky gods? Seriously? Naruto said with a head shake as he tapped the first perk. Benton's Blessing, passive. The goddess Benton has blessed your life. You will go through much hardship, but your luck at gambling, in combat, and random rewards is almost like a cheat code. Passively increases the chance of a rare drop from enemies by 50%. Passively increases your chances of winning at games of chance by 50%. Passively increases your chances of receiving a random reward at the end of a quest by 30%. Passively increases your chance of random encounters in dungeons and field dungeons by 50%. Warning, this perk can be lost by giving up on your goals. Uzumaki Naruto doesn't give up, so that ain't happening. Naruto scoffed, so this is the reason why my luck stat is a question mark. Met. Shit happens. Closing that window, Naruto then tapped on his only other perk, outside the box. Outside the box, passive. Most people have this thing called a box that they use to think in, making them predictable. You do not think like this. You think outside the box, flexibly and from a fresh perspective, although this does have the slight disadvantage of making you less able to use conventional wisdom. Plus 50 per level to unconventional tactics. Plus 20% EXP to unconventional tactics. Minus 30% EXP to conventional tactics. This perk cannot be lost as it is a part of your way of thinking. Well, some good news there. Naruto muttered. Really, who would want to think inside a box? Boring. Well, that should do it. The blonde boy sighed, now, to Ichiraku's. Naruto ran out to his favorite eatery, deciding to return to reviewing his abilities after his brunch. Same time. With Iruka, Hokage Tower. The atmosphere inside the Hokage's office was so tense that Iruka was certain that he could cut it with a kunai. The face of Sarutobi Hiruzen was as hard as granite as he stared into space. So, just to make sure I have all the facts. The Hokage said slowly, Naruto-kun's apartment has been vandalized at least once a week since he was 7. After the first 50 times, the landlord forced Naruto-kun to start replacing the window himself, although he did supply proper tools and materials for the repairs, at least. Now Naruto-kun is at least as skilled as an apprentice joiner when it comes to putting in a window. In addition, someone, likely the person responsible for smashing his window in the first place, has started throwing decomposing canine excrement into Naruto-kun's apartment as well. Is that an accurate summation? Hi, Hokage-sama. Iruka replied nervously. Sarutobi sighed. I truly have failed Naruto-kun to allow this to go on for so long. 5 years. Well, no more. Nico. Hi, Hokage-sama. The same purple-haired female Umbu from the last time Iruka had been here appeared in the same place as before. Set a team to monitoring Naruto-kun's apartment tonight. I want whoever is responsible for this caught. I shall see to it myself, Hokage-sama. Nico replied before vanishing in a puff of smoke. I must thank you for informing me of this, Iruka-kun. Sarutobi said with a small smile, I suspect that Naruto-kun didn't want to worry me about his situation, although I will have a word with him next Friday about telling me when something like this has been going on. It was the right thing to do, Hokage-sama. Iruka said modestly, I do have another subject to bring up that is related to Naruto. Oh. Sarutobi looked at the Chunin and motioned for him to continue. Naruto remarked, on our way back to his home, that he couldn't see the point in learning the Bunshin no Jutsu. Iruka said carefully, I am forced to agree with him. Any shinobi or fighter of reasonable experience can distinguish illusion from reality. In addition, I have observed him whenever he tries to perform the Bunshin. It actually makes him flinch in pain to try and perform it. Ah, that is because of his vast chakra reserves. Sarutobi nodded, as an Uzumaki, he is naturally gifted with larger than average chakra reserves, which is compounded by the presence of the Kyuubi within him. He currently has high Chunin reserves and he still has much growing to do. I suspect he will surpass my own reserves in less than 5 years. For him to attempt to use the Bunshin with the amount of chakra he possesses and the low amount of control he possesses is plain impossible. I see, Hokage-sama, I request permission to teach Naruto the tree climbing and water walking exercises. Iruka said formally, the Academy chakra control exercises are plainly not working for him and he is becoming frustrated with his progress in this area. Granted. Sarutobi nodded, I suspect you wish to teach him an alternate Bunshin technique as well, correct? Hi. I have reviewed the graduation rules and they state that a graduate must create at least 3 Bunshin in order to graduate. Iruka replied, it does not state what kind of Bunshin, Merely a bunchin. I see. Most would agree that the elemental clone techniques are not suited for the graduation test, but I see no reason why he cannot learn them. Sarutobi mused, see what his element is and then teach him either the Mizu bunchin, water clone, or the Iwa bunchin, earth clone, if he possesses the requisite affinity. What if he possesses fire, wind, or lightning? Iruka asked. Then he shall have to learn the Kage bunchin no jutsu, shadow clone jutsu. The Hokage replied, with his reserves, that would be easy for him to accomplish. In fact, teach him the Kage bunchin even if he has an affinity for water or earth. Are you sure you want to inflict an army of Naruto on the Umbu? Iruka asked with a small smile. Bah! They are Umbu, they have had training in resisting torture. Sarutobi said cheerfully. You are evil, Hokage-sama. 3 voices accused the village leader from nowhere. Ninja. Sarutobi smirked. With Naruto. After a truly gastronomic experience at Ichiraku's, Naruto headed back to his apartment and was pleasantly surprised to discover his window wasn't broken this time. Well, what do ya know? Naruto shrugged. He settled down on the lone, rather battered, armchair and decided to view his skills. When he brought the window up, he spotted 2 skills he had never seen before. The gamer's mind, passive, LV max. Allows the user to calmly and logically think things through. Allows peaceful state of mind. Immunity to psychological mass effect. Immune to killing intent from any opponent within 20 levels of yourself. Immune to fear-inducing or terror-inducing genjutsu. Immune to hypnotism. The gamer's body, passive, LV max. Grants the user a body to live life like a video game. Immune to physical damage, but not the pain. Sleeping in a bed fully restores HP/CP. Sleeping in a tent restores HP/CP by 75% of total amount. Sleeping on an improvised surface, a couch, the ground, restores HP/CP by 50% of maximum amount. So, kick ass. Naruto cheered. Now he didn't have to worry about being terrified by reasonably strong people on missions, or people hypnotizing him. Better than that, he didn't have to worry about people cutting off his arms or legs. Scrolling down once he had recovered from his celebration, Naruto spotted the first skill he had made, detect bloodthirst. It had, unbeknownst to him, leveled up a few times now. Detect bloodthirst, passive, level 5, EXP 23.98. Allows the user to detect any killing intent within a set distance. With increased levels, the exact location of the key can be determined, as well as the name of the person emitting the key. Range, 50 meters. Chance of homing in on key location, 5%. I wondered what those windows were that kept popping up in the middle of the street. Naruto shrugged. Man, people really glared at him a lot if it's gone up 4 levels in just a day. His Shurikenjutsu and Hiko Yoshin fast draw technique skills weren't too bad either, but they had only gone up a couple of levels and the bonuses they gave hadn't changed at all. Naruto frowned as he looked at his skills. 12 skills and only 9 of them had anything to do with shinobi skills. He frowned as he thought about it for a moment. When he had created the Shurikenjutsu skill, he had known how to do it beforehand, but had been handicapped by having stupid display shuriken instead of proper training shuriken, so the skill had been created immediately. Closing the windows, Naruto ran through the hand signs for the Henge no Jutsu. Henge. He transformed into an exact copy of Iruka, right down to the smallest detail. He transformed into perfect replicas of several other people before the expected window popped up. Skill created. Henge no Jutsu, active, level max. A basic shinobi skill and one of the Academy 3 in all of the hidden villages of the elemental nations. This jutsu transforms you into anyone or anything. Unlike most shinobi, you are able to use it as an actual physical transformation, rather than a mere illusion. 10 CP per minute upkeep to use. Reverting to his ordinary body, Naruto gaped at the window in astonishment. So, he had created an entirely new jutsu, rather than use the one that the rest of the world used. Cool. Next, he grabbed one of his practice logs and performed the Kawarimi no Jutsu until he developed that skill as well. Kawarimi no Jutsu, active, level 75, EXP 54.12. A basic shinobi skill and one of the Academy 3 in all the hidden villages of the elemental nations. This jutsu allows you to switch places with something in an instant. The higher the level, the smaller the object can be that you replace yourself with. A very high level indeed is required to switch positions with someone with more chakra than yourself. Smallest size of object you can replace yourself with, jam jar size. Again, cool. Naruto grinned. He had practiced those two jutsu quite a bit in the last 2 years, so it wasn't really a surprise that he had maxed out the henge and come damn close with the Kawarimi. That just leaves, the Kami Forsaken Bunshin. He sighed. Running through the 3 hand signs, Naruto declared dully, Bunshin no Jutsu. In an explosion of smoke, 3 sickly-looking illusion clones appeared before vanishing. A small window appeared after that and the blonde read it quickly. Skill failed. You have not met the prerequisites in order to properly utilize this skill. You require chakra control 30% of max CP in order to use this skill. Please try again once you have fulfilled the prerequisites. Naruto could only stare dumbly at the window. He had to have chakra control equal to 30% of his chakra points. That was, at a conservative estimate, something like 210. With his CP going up by 100 every level, it would be impossible to use that jutsu. Keep calm. Iruka-sensei said he'd have a word with Jiji about this. Things will be fine, he thought with enforced calm. Moving past that, Naruto wondered what else he could do. Yesterday, he had run through the kata of the Academy Heikage style and hadn't gained so much as a single experience point, which meant he had to actually fight or spar with someone in order to level his taijutsu up. So, what did that leave? He didn't want to practice the Kawarimi no Jutsu for too long as that made him dizzy after about an hour, and he had already maxed out the Henge no Jutsu. Wait a minute. What about my stealth and trapping skills? Naruto hurriedly checked through his 14 skills and saw that neither were there. Right. Time to remedy that. Naruto cackled, rubbing his hands together as he started planning to execute what would be his last prank for a few months. Now where did I put the glue and feathers? Half an hour later. Get back here, you brat! Howled one of the Chunin chasing Naruto. The entire group was covered from head to toe in glue and bright pink feathers that Naruto had found in a box outside his apartment one day. Naruto was grinning like a hyena as he led the pack of Chunin on quite the merry chase through the streets of Konoha. This had been the best idea yet. He had received both of the skills he had set out to gain and 3 points to his STR from all the running around. Bloodthirst detected. Immediately to the left. Not questioning the window, Naruto threw himself to the right just in the nick of time as a ninjato slashed down where Naruto had been running not 2 seconds ago. Ryato. One of the feathered pursuers barked sharply, "What the hell do you think you are doing?" The man with the ninjato snarled in a drunken way as he tried to stab Naruto with his blade. He wasn't one of the feathered pursuers. His clothes were filthy and smelled of stale beer and cheap hooch. The only thing that was remotely clean about him was the blade he wielded. The ninjato looked as if it had been obsessively and meticulously polished, sharpened, oiled, and tended for years. The sharp edge cut through the air with a distinctly high whistle as he chased Naruto along the street. Shit. What the hell? Naruto yelped as he avoided being shish kebabed by the sword yet again, the sword glinting in the sunlight as it flashed past Naruto in slow motion from his perspective. Ryato. Stop this at once. One of the Pink Feather Brigade yelled, "This is ridiculous. Fuck off." The man bellowed as he clumsily slashed at Naruto again. The blonde orphan was very, very glad that he was so lucky as he fled towards the Hokage Tower. 2 back blurs shot over Naruto and a strangled grunt of pain came from the pursuing man. Risking a peek over his shoulder, Naruto could see 2 Umbu operatives restraining the man. Deciding that it was time to make like a tree and leaf, Naruto snuck away, deciding to spend the rest of the day trying to create skills, from the safety and sanctity of his apartment. Just in case. The next day. Final year classroom, Konohagakure Shinobi Academy. Naruto was feeling more than slightly depressed. Why, might you ask? The answer is simple, every single person in the entire damned classroom that was on his reputation page was a higher level than he was. Brainiac. LV7, Harano Sakura. Mindwalker Adept. LV8, Yamanaka Ino. Emo Avenger. LV12, Uchiha Sasuke. Lazy Genius. LV9, Nara Shikamaru. Clan heir of the Akimichi. LV8, Akimichi Koji. Shy Maiden. LV10, Hayagahi Hinata. Silent Watcher. LV10, Abarame Shino. Aspiring Alpha Male. LV7, Inyazuka Kiba. He felt like banging his head off of the wall. How the hell was he going to catch up to them before graduation? He was level 5, which was one level above most of the civilian-born students. He had a lot of catching up to do. Much to his lack of surprise, a window popped up in front of him. Welcome. Welcome to the Kanahagakure Shinobi Academy. Here, you will be learning the basics of the shinobi arts. Study hard and you will be rewarded for your hard work. Currently you are in the academic position of dead last. Should you graduate at this level, you will automatically be assigned to the same team as the two holding the positions of Rookie of the Year and Top Kunoichi. Oh, hell no. Naruto muttered, I am not going to be assigned to the same team as the team, even if Sakura-chan is there too. Oi, dope. Sasuke called, what's with the new clothes? Naruto looked down. He was wearing his black Amakusa-style trousers and shirt, and his shower had started working properly, so he didn't smell. He hadn't even had to clean up a mess this morning as his window hadn't been smashed. Discarding his jumpsuits and putting his new wardrobe on had finally gotten rid of the eyesore flaw, which was a big relief for Naruto. Met. Decided it was time for a change, team. He replied cockily, you might want to consider a new style as well, those little boy shorts of yours make you look like a kid. Naruto baka. Sakura shouted, stop talking to Sasuke-kun like that. Come on Sakura-chan. Naruto whined, even you have to admit that they make him look childish. Troublesome. Shikamaru mumbled, Naruto's right, so please be quiet. Shikamaru. Ino scowled at her childhood friend, what about Koji? He wears shorts. Yeah, but now Naruto mentions it, I should be wearing trousers. Koji spoke up as he munched on chips, Tio-yu-chan and Ka-chan have been after me to wear some armor on my legs, so this is as good a time as any to update my stuff. Naruto, where'd you get the duds? Higurishis. Naruto replied. Wow. You like the high-end stuff, don't you? The rotund boy asked, slightly impressed at Naruto's choice in clothes, that's where I'll go then. Another window popped up once the conversation shifted away from Naruto. Congratulations. Clothes make the man quest complete. Quest completion reward, plus 500 EXP, plus 30 Academy Shuriken. Secret objective, impress at least 2 classmates with your new threads, complete. Secret objective reward, plus 200 reputation with Akimichi Koji, plus 200 reputation with Yamanaka Ino, plus 200 reputation with Hayagahi Hinata. Nice. Naruto mentally cheered, today rocks. Same time. A cell, Umbu-T-N-I department. The man secured to the chair before Sarutobi cut a very pathetic figure indeed. Stripped of his clothes and weapon, flanked on both sides by Umbu, he sagged in his bonds, knowing that he was in deep shit. Kagami Ryato. Sarutobi's voice was as cold and unforgiving as glacial ice, you have been accused of several minor charges in the past, but because of your actions today, I can no longer allow you to remain in Konoha. You deliberately attacked an academy student with a weapon, with the intent to kill or maim him. What do you have to say for yourself? He's the demon, not a boy. The man's hoarse voice said gruffly, he's helpless, so he should die. My brother's sword thirsts for his blood. Sarutobi sighed. Kagami Shinzo had been one of the many Chunin who had helped to fight against the Kyuubi 12 years previously. He had fought well, but had been killed by a falling building. The man before him, Shinzo's brother, had been a genin at the time, but had quit the shinobi forces after he had been informed about his brother's death. Since then, he had tried to find solace at the bottom of every sake bottle he could find, as well as every other kind of alcoholic beverage he could lay his hands on. I have explained this quite a few times to the clan heads. Sarutobi said patiently, even if someone killed Naruto, the Kyuubi wouldn't die with him. You can no more kill it than you could juggle a set of mountains. In a few years, a decade at most, the Kyuubi would reform and likely come back to finish what it started 12 years ago, making your brother's sacrifice worthless. No, that. Ryato seemed thunderstruck by Sarutobi's words. As you attacked Naruto-kun in front of 7 Chunin, the evidence is more than sufficient for me to find you guilty. Sarutobi said harshly, I find your reason for attacking an academy student insufficient and thus sentence you to the maximum sentence allowed by the law. You are hereby sentenced to a decade in the Konoha military police prison, with no hope of reduced sentence or parole for at least 5 years. Umbu, make certain he is placed in a mid-level security cell. Hi, Hokage-sama. The Umbu nodded. Sarutobi made his way out of the cell and headed for the next one over, to have words with the other person of interest that had been caught by Nico and Saru last night. Well now, he said as the culprit writhed in her restraints. He had been surprised that it was a female, but then wondered why he had been surprised. Females could be far more vindictive than males given the right stimulus. Who do we have here? Takujo Mitarashi. Anko, grinning like she had just been handed a lifetime supply of dango. This is a failed genin candidate from just after the Kyubi. She's one of the Harano clan, Harano Isuka. What is her relation to academy student Harano Sakura? Sarutobi questioned. Second cousin. Isuka-chan here was the first member of the Harano clan to try and become a genin, but she didn't make the cut. Anko replied after checking her notes, now then, Isuka-chan, care to tell Hokage-sama what he wants to know, or will I have to get intimately familiar with how you scream? It's a demon. Isuka bit out as she thrashed in her bonds, I've been trying to make it give up by harassing it, but the damn demon just won't give up. Who the hell has that kind of determination as a kid? Naruto-kun does have a way with surprising people with how determined he is. Sarutobi chuckled darkly, now, are you working alone or are there cohorts that need to be rounded up? I worked alone. Isuka snarled. Lie. Anko remarked lazily as she backhanded the woman across the face, tell the truth or that will seem like a love tap. A member of the Inyazuka clan got me the dog crap from the waste bins, but he didn't know what it was for. The Harano woman said shortly. Good. That means that the punishment falls squarely on you and the Harano clan. Sarutobi said, that's, let's see now, 5 years of broken windows, once a week minimum, twice a week on occasion, not to mention several cases of improper disposal of waste. I'm afraid this goes beyond simple vandalism. I will discuss the matter with Naruto-kun and your clan head in order to determine the punishment suitable for an ongoing regime of harassment. For now, you will be taken to a holding cell until such time as your punishment is determined. The woman scowled at Sarutobi but said nothing. Anko, escort her to T&I's holding cells and make sure it's an isolated cell. We don't want people thinking that she's getting off with a slap on the wrists. Point 2. Gotcha, old man. Anko grinned as she looked down at Harano Isuka, she won't be going anywhere. Isuka had the feeling that the holding cell couldn't come fast enough. 2 hours later. With Naruto. Naruto was bored. Seriously, he knew he had to raise his grades, but listening to Iruka-sensei drone on about the ninja code was very much yawn-worthy. Staying awake had made his int go up by 2 already though, so Naruto, utilizing his stubborn willpower, had forced himself to pay attention to the lecture, even although he thought that the ninja code was impossible to apply word for word in the real world. He had read books, a fact that had shocked Iruka when he had found out about it, and pinpointed areas where famous historical shinobi from Konoha had basically ignored the code completely. Iruka had looked at him oddly when Naruto had pointed these people out before telling him that while, in those instances they had broken the rules, overall they had abided by them, so he still had to learn the rules well, if not by heart. That hadn't exactly been the point, but Naruto understood that he had to learn them well enough to pass the thrice accursed written exam for graduation. Afterwards, met. Rules were a guideline only in Naruto's opinion. At length, the bell for lunchtime rang and Naruto quickly found an area of the training yard that was unoccupied, under one of the windows. He had been too spooked by the random attack to review his new skills yesterday, so he quickly called them up. Stealth, passive/active, LV65, EXP 56.98. A key skill of any shinobi, this skill allows you to remain undetected by sight, sound, and scent. At higher levels, it allows you to become one with the shadows, making you nigh undetectable to anyone who isn't a chakra sensor. Passively raises chance to avoid detection by sound by 39%. Passively raises chance to avoid detection by scent by 39%. Actively raises chance to avoid detection by sight by 39%. While active, movement speed reduced by 50%, 20 cp/minute to use. Traps, passive, LV60, EXP 54.21. When pursued, laying a trap can be the difference between life or death for you and your team. The higher the level, the more varied traps you can make, as well as the faster you can build them. Passively adds 30% to success ratio of trap making. Passively adds plus 30% to trap building speed. Allows the construction of pranking traps, hunting traps, basic snares, and blade traps. Requires materials to build. See trap recipes for details. Naruto had reviewed the recipes, and the first intermediate blade trap he saw made him shiver to think about inflicting it on someone. Some things were just not done. Especially to men. Bloodthirst detected. Above you. Naruto rolled to one side as soon as he saw the message, just in time to avoid a vase full of flowers that had fallen from the window above him. Mizuki had a surprised expression on his face as he saw that Naruto had avoided being brained by the vase. Lick of the devil, the man snarled in his mind as he stalked off. Detect bloodthirst has leveled up? Yeah, great. Naruto muttered. Now he was going to have to make sure he was careful around windows, door, stairs, and the like, just in case Mizuki was lurking around them. On the bright side, his skills had saved him a headache from getting clonked on the head by the vase. Naruto! Iruka shouted, his head swelling up as he instinctively used the big head jutsu as he stalked across the training field. Pick up those flowers. Mizuki-sensei was the one who knocked them over, not me. Naruto defended himself. On the downside, he was still getting blamed for things that weren't his fault. Great. Next chapter, Training Days.